Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Jason, certified financial planner and host of Fighting Words Financial. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about a question that I keep getting over and over and over from my subscribers and just from people in my regular professional life right now. That question is, should I take one of those penalty-free IRA 401k withdrawals that's allowed between now and the end of the year? So we're going to talk about all the issues surrounding that. There's timing issues surrounding that. There are rules and regulations. There's a couple of different ways you can take funds out, and timing might really matter now. Now, if you watched any of my earlier videos, you might have noticed that I did a couple of videos on market timing, calling it one of the worst things in the world you could do, one of the biggest mistakes you could make. Let me be clear, I'm not giving you guys contradictory messages. I am going to tell you that this is not about market timing, this is not about investments, this is about whether or not you need to take the withdrawal. Now, as a financial planner, I'm really always biased towards telling you, no, don't take that withdrawal out of your 401k, your IRA, because that's what's supposed to be around when you retire. That's what's going to pay your retirement expenses. You set that money aside, you got certain tax advantages for doing that, but I need to, and most financial advisors need to acknowledge reality at this point. A lot of people are unemployed, right? So many people are unemployed right now, and the stock market is simply not reflecting that. In fact, the stock market is almost completely divorced from reality at this point. The market has not paid the price for 33 million people being unemployed. 33 million people is literally 10% of the population of the United States. That doesn't mean there's 10% unemployment. It's actually double that. Like, the workforce is literally only like 160 million people, and right now we have 33 million people that are unemployed. And your accounts for the year may only be down 10 or 15%. Like, the market has not paid the price for the massive amount of unemployment and the massive disruption to the economy. You personally may not have really paid that price, and you may be in a position to take advantage of the fact that your accounts, your balances in your investment accounts may be still up. They may not, you may not even lost any money if you've been heavily invested in NASDAQ stocks or tech stocks. But let's consider this. We do live in a consumer economy where the economy is really driven by all those people who are out there employed. They buy stuff all the time. Well, guess what is not happening? One of the things that I bet's not being bought right now is pants, right? The entire industry that creates pants is going to need to be bailed out, because right now people are sitting at home in their underwear. They're not wearing pants. I don't know if bras are ever going to make a comeback either for women, but there's going to be changes to the economy, and I think that many of these jobs that people lost, there's 33 million people that are unemployed, I think that many of these jobs are going to evaporate permanently. Now, I just read an article on Yahoo Finance today that stated exactly that. They estimate that something like 42% of the people who lost jobs in this recession have lost them permanently. When they go back to work, they're going to have to find some other kind of job. I do think that's probably a reality, that even when things go back to where we're no longer social distancing, the economy is not going to snap back instantly. The jobs that you lost probably aren't going to still be around. When you're going to be doing something new, which means the recovery is going to happen a lot more slowly than the market is reflecting at this time. I know that most economists and most financial advisors see the stock market as a leading indicator, saying, hey, the stock market is only performing how it sees the economy is doing 6 months from now or something like that. I don't think that is the case this time around. I think that it's irrational exuberance. It's I think that it's just completely divorced from reality, and we still have some pain yet to see in the market. So the positive thing about that, and there is a positive thing, is that you may be one of these 33 million people unemployed. It may be that your unemployment benefits are not paying the bills. You've already burned through your emergency fund. You've already burned through your taxable accounts, and now you are forced to take a withdrawal from one of your retirement accounts. Well, I'm telling you guys, even if you haven't reached that position yet, but you think you may, it may be a good idea to take that distribution now, because I think that markets are actually artificially inflated at this point, and that we're going to see a retest of the lows that we saw in March. Yep, you heard that right, guys. I think there's going to be another market crash. I think that we're really just at the tail end of the first stage of this bear market. And once companies start coming out with their corporate numbers, like their corporate earnings in late June through late July, we're going to see just how badly these companies were hurt. Now, we just saw some corporate earnings come out. We're seeing them come out now, but let's remember, we really didn't see the first shutdowns in the United States until the last 2 weeks of the first quarter. So we're really not seeing the full impact of what's going on. So I think that the unemployment number is going to grow a little bit before it gets better. I think that we have not seen the real negative impact on the economy yet. So I do think that we're going to retest lows. So if you are going to take out a withdrawal from your 401k, IRA, 403b at this point, if you took it out today, it might hurt you a lot less than if you took it out a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, because it may be when we're testing those lows again. So now let's talk about the two options you have to take money out of your 401k. You have the option to take a 401k loan or a coronavirus-related distribution. Now, you've always been able to take a loan out of your 401k if your employer happened to be one of those employers that allowed that under the plan. Not every employer plan allows loans. In fact, most small businesses don't because of the extra cost associated with managing those loans. The best part about taking a 401k loan is that there is no taxable event whatsoever. Yes, you have to pay the loan back, but you're borrowing your money from your account. You're paying the loan back to yourself, and you're paying interest on the loan back to yourself. The changes that the CARES Act made to 401k loan provisions is that it essentially doubled the amount that you could take out. There used to be a limit of $50,000 or 50% of your account value. That has been up to $100,000 or 100% of your account value. Now, you may be worried that you're one of those 42% of people that has a job that's basically evaporating permanently. Now, there are some concerns with that, and let me address those right now. Now, employers may require the employee to repay the full outstanding balance of a loan if their position is terminated, their employment is terminated, or they get rid of the plan. If the employee is unable to repay the loan, the employer can treat the unpaid balance of the loan as a distribution and report it to the IRS on Form 1099-R. Now, the employee can still avoid immediate income tax consequences by rolling over all or part of the loan's outstanding balance to an IRA or any other eligible retirement plan by the due date. And this includes whatever extensions that the IRS is giving you. This rollover is going to be reported on Form 5498 by the end of the year. So taking a loan, while it's the preferred option in terms of taxes, it's not all good because you may be one of those people who ends up losing their job forever because of corporate restructuring, because the company just folds or what have you. The second option you have for taking money out of your 401k is a coronavirus-related distribution. Now, the best thing about the coronavirus-related distributions is that no proof of financial hardship is required beyond a self-certification. Now, I've already gotten complaints that people who have applied at their company for one of these coronavirus-related distributions, they've been turned down and their employer has said that they are not qualified to do so. Now, here's the thing though. The employer doesn't actually have the right to say you qualify or you don't. The law specifically says in the text that the employee is allowed to self-certify. Now, what is a qualified individual? Let's talk about what a qualified individual is. Section 2202, and there's a bunch of letters and numbers behind that, of the CARES Act defines what a qualified individual is. It's someone who is diagnosed with the virus SARS-CoV-2 or with coronavirus 2019 disease by a test approved by the CDC. Someone whose spouse or dependent is diagnosed with the disease once again by a test approved by the CDC. Or, now this is the really broad part that essentially covers everyone. Someone who experiences adverse financial consequences as a result of being quarantined, being furloughed, or laid off, or having work hours reduced due to the virus or disease. Being unable to work due to a lack of childcare due to the virus, having a business that is closed or reduced because it was operated by someone who had the virus, or other factors determined by the Secretary of Treasury or the delegate's representative, which means that the Treasury is going to add things in. Essentially, anyone can take a withdrawal, and all you have to do is self-certify. Now, I'm actually going to put the text of the self-certification clause in the actual description of this video, so you can copy that and take that to your boss if they don't allow you to take a withdrawal. So, one of the great things about taking one of these coronavirus-related withdrawals is that You don't have to pay the 10% penalty on it like you did before for a distribution if you took it at under 59.5, but you do have to pay taxes on it. The great thing about these coronavirus-related distributions is that taxes will be spread out over 3 years, over 2020, 2021, and 2022. Additionally, there's a new provision that the CARES Act put on distributions that are made just in 2020. Now, you could always take money out of your 401k as a withdrawal and put it back in, and it was treated as a rollover, right? You had 60 days in which to do that. Now, for coronavirus-related distributions that are taken out in the year 2020, you have 3 years to pay back that distribution and recover any taxes you paid. So guys, these are your two options for taking money out of your 401k, 403b plan, or IRA this year. I sincerely hope that you aren't forced to do this. I do realize that many of you will be forced to do this by the end of the year. So I hope that this video helps you to make a decision on which route is right for you and whether or not you should do it sometime in the near future. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day.